What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with our daily Apple update video where we take a look at how Apple stock traded today, some key support and resistance levels that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think Apple stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit the like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. So as we could see, another small red day for Apple. Looked pretty decent for a lot of the day. At one point it was pushing up and then it faded for the second half of the day. So we'll take a look at that. But before we do kind of the charting and the analysis, I want to cover a little piece of news that Bloomberg covered. So Kia Motors is, we talked about, Apple partnering with a car company to produce cars, right, in 2024. We discussed that. And so Bloomberg reports that they are going to partner with Kia. Apple's going to invest $3.6 billion as part of a collaboration with the South Korean car maker on making electric vehicles, right? This is something we were anticipating. So they're going to do that in Georgia. They're planning on producing 100,000 cars a year in 2024. And they may sign a deal on February 17th. And the crazy thing with that is, Kia Motors, their shares jumped 14.5% and Apple shares are doing nothing. So that was kind of sad to see. If you take a look at, Kia here, the way it kind of jumped on that news. So that's kind of the thing. The other side of that, though, is Hyundai, who has a ownership stake in Kia, is also talking about how they aren't entirely sure if they do want to do this, right? There's some concerns that they have as well. So that's just something to keep in mind, is this news could really, push. I mean, definitely it looks like Kia and Hyundai stock up, but hopefully Apple stock up as well, right? So we'll see, kind of keep that on our radar. According to Bloomberg, it may be on February 17th. So we'll kind of keep an eye out for that. That's about 2 weeks away. Not necessarily saying that that's going to be, boom, instant kind of jump for Apple shares, because it didn't even react to it today, as we see, right? But maybe as we start to get news around that, maybe something actually signed, stuff like that, maybe we see Apple shares, lift a little bit. So wanted to quickly cover that. The other part of the video is the chart analysis. So yesterday, if you guys remember, we had ended here in the 134s, and we pushed up pre-market towards that 136.05, got within 15 cents of that level. Right out of the gate, though, we sold off, pushed up, broke VWAP briefly, and then pushed right back down. Again, at this point, we're looking at the 133.45 level, which we were about 16 cents away from hitting, right? So again, great, levels holding up pretty nicely as support and resistance. Start to push up, break VWAP, keep pushing up. Got briefly to where we kind of pushed in the beginning of the day. Couldn't quite make it all the way to the 135.80 level, and then we sold off again. So it was a down, up, and then right back down. So that was not a fun day for Apple. What I didn't like about today is the fact that we're below VWAP to close. We've sold off the second half of the day. A couple things that just didn't really look too good. What I did like, though, is that we found support here in the 133.61 level. So that's definitely a good sign. So Apple was down 0.78%, which compared to the S&P, S&P was pretty flat for the day, 0.08%. The Dow Jones was up 0.14%, and then the Nasdaq was down 0.02%. So indexes relatively flat on the day, nothing crazy going on. And it looks like, right, if you guys have seen Google today, it's up almost 7% after beating earnings. And again, beating it on the top and bottom line. But Amazon is down, right? Down 2% after, beating earnings as well. Sure, you could say it has to do with Jeff Bezos, but, they were up in the pre-market. So I think it has, again, more to do with the run up into earnings and then the sell-off following earnings, right? Kind of like we saw with Apple. So what do we have coming up from a daily chart perspective? Let's take a look at that, right? So as we could see, we had this little run into earnings going all the way as high as 145, setting that all-time high after, beating the 138s that we had set previously. If you guys remember, we were in a cup and handle pattern, and then after that we pushed up to 145, sold off all the way down to the 130 level at one point, starting to push up, and then hopefully we are consolidating a little bit before we start to make another run up. So let's take a look at future levels of support and future levels of resistance. So as we could see, today we found good support in the 21 EMA, and that's the level that I look at pretty much on a daily basis. And I like to see how the stock is holding up against that level, because to me, the 8 and the 21 are pretty good levels of support that the stock should find support at, assuming it's moving upward. And then if it doesn't, I go to the 34 EMA right here, which is kind of like my, okay, it really needs to find support here. And then if it doesn't, 55 and 89 are like, all right, stock's struggling, but I'm gonna look at those points to turn around. So good news is we didn't break below the 21 EMA. As you guys remember from 2 days ago, right, we were pushing up against it as well. Today we are pushing down against it as well. So let's see what future levels of support and resistance look like for the stock, and then maybe we can see how it can move forward. So on the upside, you guys know that we've got this first level at 136.05 that we saw a little bit of a push towards at the beginning of the day. We also saw a push towards it yesterday. If we can crack that, my goal for this week was us to kind of go to 138. But we really need to do this 136 tomorrow for us to kind of get a run towards 138. If we don't, you know, the first level of support we have is this 21 EMA right at 133.92, which is where we are right now. So closely monitoring that first line, and then monitoring this 133.40s, again, only 50 cents away. And then I think we could drop to this next level in the mid 132, so 132.50, and then the 34 EMA at 131.83. Look, it's not looking, Apple stock is not looking too strong, right? We've trailed the market for a couple days. SPY had 2 great days this week. Apple stock did not. We had another kind of decent, I mean, not a decent red day, but pretty much 0.78% is not, you know, a flat day either. So it'll be really interesting to see how we go. Again, the levels that I'm looking for is this 21 EMA to hold. If this doesn't hold, then I think we do have downside to until the 34 EMA, so from 133.92 to 131.83. With these levels in the middle that I just described, that can act as a little bit of support. My goal would be for it to bounce off that 21 EMA, and if it does, right, if it bounces at the 133.90s level, we start to push up, take over the 135.38 EMA, and make a push towards this 136 level, break that and go towards 138. So that's what I'm hoping for, but obviously we'll see how tomorrow looks, whether it's a strong day or not for Apple. I could say for the market too, but clearly Apple has a mind of its own nowadays. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys posted on that as always. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, comment down below what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.